That truly is a big mark for Gene Wood there. Gets over, gets on the 7. Boy. He just blew them out of there. On the mark. Oh, boy. Only 2.
Well, that hurts.
Yeah. Still nice to get the mark, though. That's 12 pins. The other side now. That was throwing just a little too hard in that one.
40% on the front pin.
Looks back at those pins. I don't know what she was saying in her mind, but I could guess. But that's all right, Gene. You got another whole string to come. You finish with the 104 there. Now Sharon McRae trying to get something going. And she will not get the 6. Sharon has a great chance to spare here. This is one she really wants to get. She just missed the left-hand side. That's a mark to Sharon McRae.
Could be because that pin moonwalked a couple of inches.
Yeah. Comes back, and again, we've said it before, it's so easy with that third ball. Sharon McRae goes to 96 now. She just knows she would like to mark here, going out to end the first string to set up her second. She's left the pin in behind, that being the 9. She does have some wood behind the 4 and at least the 2 and the 4. There's the shot. And a tough shot is really getting tough now. She can drive the 1 back in the 9 and have the ball take the 7. The other hand, she's off to the right-hand side and settled for an 8 there. Well, Sharon McRae with marks in 6 and 7 picked up 14 bonus pins there. She finishes like Gene Wood with a 104. Now Grace Hatt open on a spare. Good hit. 2 very weak pins there. And you're only going to be able to count 8, Grace. That moves her to 99. And this is, well, she wants to get over around the end of the wood left-hand side. Right there, not quite. That was a tough one. Could have been over to the left maybe a tad more. No matter how you cut it, that was going to be tough. And Grace Hatt will settle for a 9. Good news is she goes to 108. 4 pins up on both Gene Wood and Sharon McRae, and she has, of course, 1 frame to come here in the second string. Oh, my. Right on the front end, and a real tough second shot.
Grace has been on the front pin 90% of the time.
She wants to get in here or on this side. Oh, look at this. She knifed that pin right between the 4 and the 7, took only the 7, scared the 10. She'll be on the right-hand side to look for 9. Gets 9. Oh, 117 for Grace Hatt. As Jeannie McDowell is up now, and she's open on a strike. She had the spare in the 7, strike in the 8, and an even 100. Left-hand side. Now she wants to avoid that black hole where the 4, 7, 8 used to be. Get in the crunch. She's still on the strike.
Good hit. Strike ball. Yes. And gets a spare. Oh, that was beauty.
Strike in the 8. Spare in the 9. That's just a beauty. Remember, she's still on the strike with this one. She gets right on the front end, the 5 pin, the last to go. Wood comes over, takes it out. She has had now 5 marks in 9 frames. Got another good one there. She's got them all.
Doubles.
Jeannie McDowell. Spare in the 7, strike in the 8, spare in the 9, strike in the 10. Got the rhythm going. Wow.
I was about to say double strike because it feels just as exciting, but holy jumping, what a way to go out.
I think the battle's on for second place.
2 bonus balls.
Oh, she is really been exciting. She's 140 right now. Previous high of 135 of Alan Mullen now surpassed. 140 with 2 bonus balls to come. Ask me if they're excited on the Lockhart Drive in New Minas. And the telephone lines are going to be buzzing. Jeannie's a telephone operator. She counts 7 more.
7? Yes, indeed.
147. Woo. Wow, good big round of applause for Jeannie McDowell. That's the best one we've seen so far, 147. And it's nice to see it. A real nice lady.
6
Jeannie
marks
McDowell.
on the board for her. Boy, that's something else.
Excellent.
You know, she's got that high single of 168 from her home lanes. Should note that this has been an extraordinary performance by Jeannie McDowell because we are using new Garland pins. They're fairly new. Most bowling centers you'll go to, you'll find they're a little dirtier than the ones we're using. That's because they've been used a lot more. We only use these for special tournaments on ATV Saturday afternoons. They're the same as the others, except they're new. That means they're a little tighter. They haven't been bashed around as much. So many bowlers will tell you that when they bowl with these pins, that they find that they don't go down as easily.
Absolutely.
So to come that close to a high single that she is set at a home lane is quite an achievement.
We've got a good situation here. Let's take a look at the overall picture at the conclusion of this first string. And there you see it. Right away, we'll go to Jeannie McDowell. You see it. She only dropped 2 pins for that 147, a couple of strikes, and she has 4 spares in there. But now let's go to the other bowlers. You've got Grace Hatt at 117, and truly the battle is on for second place. You've got to be second in this. Grace Hatt at 117. She's got the 2 spares to open. Then she went into a bit of a drought, but picked up another spare in the 8th, got 8 on that, and finished with the fine 117. Now, 13 pins back are both Jean Wood and Sharon McRae. Jean Wood with 3 spares in the 2nd, 4th, and 9th that you can see, but she only got 2 pins on that spare in the 9th, and that might hurt her a little bit, and certainly did. 5 going out in the 10th, knocked her down to 104. That was good news for Sharon McRae. A couple of spares in the 6th and 7th. She's off her game a little bit, but not a lot. She has a 110 average, so she comes in at 104, but a good battle for 3rd, but 3rd is not good enough. You got to look at those 2 bowlers. They are 13 pins off the pace being set by Grace Hart.
So there you have Jeannie McDowell with a great big lead. It's going to be tough for the others to catch up, but they've got a whole string to go, so anything can happen. Come on back for more bowling here on ATV.
The Atlantic Canada Tim Horton Donut Shop owners are proud to invite you to share with them in the 4th Annual Atlantic Canada Day in support of the Tim Horton Children's Foundation. On May 2nd, Tim Horton retailers will donate all their sales for 24 hours in support
I
of...
really had some fireworks towards the end if you just joined us. And you're looking at Jean Wood now, struggling a little bit with only 3 marks in the first string. Got a 2 on that last mark, so it didn't amount a whole lot. 104 is her total as she starts the 11th frame of this 2-string affair.
Jeannie McDowell in the last 4 frames picked up 37 bonus pins.
That's really been the story here.
Boy, that's a strong finish. Right, Jean Wood gets her 10 there. As she trails 2nd place Grace Hatt by 13 pins. And Sharon McRae is also 13 pins off the pace. And 2nd place you've got to get to. You can't move on. Jean on the side that time a little bit. There is the situation. She has to be kind of full on that pin on the front.
Just a little flush.
You know, again and again and again, they keep getting on the object pin. That pin's not all that big down there. What great consistency these bowlers have shown us. There's another good example. It's only a 10, you might say, but you've got to be on the object pin. A couple of 10s. For Jean Wood. Sharon McRae up now. Flashes a little bit of a smile and then gets down to business.
Right on that front pin, and Wood coming back to take the 5. Big help there.
Oh, that's a big one to get. Well,
and
Wood
Wood
to be a little careful here. Now that wood is coming out. It looked like it turned a little bit, but there is a bit of an angle on this wood over to this side. She has to be a little concerned about this pin right there. Down close to the channel. She does and gets it. That shot wasn't as easy as it looked. She had to spin that pin around just as she did, and she comes up with a big mark. Once again, watch how she puts the spin. She doesn't drive it straight back because that wouldn't have got the job done. She hit it right, put the spin on it, and got both the 4 and the 7. And that's a big mark for Sharon McRae to open. It's pretty good again on the front end, but only gets 7 and leaves some daylight. between the 2, 4, and the 6. You can lay the ball in there, have the ball kick out, take the 6, and the 2, which is here, take the 4. Here's the shot.
Oh,
that's what she was trying for, but that was the path of the ball. To the right. And she takes 8 there. So Sharon McCrae picks up 5 bonus pins through the first 2 frames to go to 25. Cuts into the second place lead of Grace Hatt somewhat. Cuts it down, in fact, to 8 pins. But Grace is up right now. She may have something to say about that.
On the front pin, leaves 4.
She's got the 3, 5, 6, and the 10. She wants to be to the right or the left of the 3. That's the pin that's second from the left. Oh.
Wait. No, gonna wrap. Nose up.
Yeah, that sets up a nice little guide is what that does. Doesn't want to use it too much as a guide, and that's why. Got on the nose and takes an 8. Unofficially, I make it just 6 pins now between Sharon McCrae and Grace Hatt for second place. And that's the battle we're going to watch. That second place battle. Grace Hatt now. A little hesitation. She's got a mess of wood down there to work with. There is an angle on the wood that's behind the 2 pin, and that's the one right here. But that may carry right straight back through and leave this. Here it comes. Oh, she got over to the right-hand side, a little too high, so it didn't matter anyway. Now, the question is, will she play the wood and look for 9? And she does. Gets 9. 10 would have been a bonus there. So 7 pins, the difference now between Sharon McCrae and Grace Hatt for second place.
And that brings up Jeannie McDowell, who's been very explosive.
5 pins between Grace Hatt and Sharon McCrae. Jeannie McDowell, let's see if she can continue her tear. Well, she looks pretty good there with an 8-pin drop, leaving the 3 and the 6. Jean Wood, meanwhile, is 10 pins out of second place. And Wood, McCrae, and Hatt all have 8 frames.
She's gonna not get it. Jumps that one straight.
I don't
back.
understand this. She missed. She was looking for 5 marks in a row there. Did you notice she was on the object pin, though? Just missed on the right-hand side. Jeannie McDowell totally falling apart here.
So for the first time, though, in 5 frames, she actually drops a pin.
Oh, boy, she's been great. I just wonder.
Coming back, that's going to take that one.
The telephone lines up around New Minas are just a buzz. I mentioned she's a telephone operator with Maritime Tell and Tell. She'll be able to call all her friends tomorrow and tell her about that great 147. Oh,
so
what
close
a great
to getting
drive.
left hand. Yeah, good hand for Jeannie McDowell. Deserves it on that shot.
She sure does. Before the show, she said, she made one comment to me before the show. She says, it doesn't get any easier. In other words, she was still quite nervous. Well, if that's the case, Jeannie, you better stay nervous, because it works well for you.
Adrenaline is a wonderful thing.
Yeah. By the bottle or by the case. This is Jean Wood.
Boy, 7 pins went real quickly there.
Yeah.
She's got the 1 out front, the 2, 4.
And there they are, all in a row, right and left and front pin. Yes.
She got him. Oh, ball took care of all of those.
Jean Wood, 10 pins out of second place, is going to cut into that lead right now. So she's 10 pins out of second place, less what she gets on this first ball. Got a bundle? Now, Jean Wood just 3 pins out. And we're going to watch that battle for you all the way along. Because Jeannie McDowell looks like, oh, that's tough for Jean Wood. Would have liked to have converted that spare. Needs to get these 2 to remain 3 pins off the pace. And she doesn't, so she'll drop 5 pins off the pace, but that's all right. Certainly within striking distance. Sharon McCrae up now. Mentioned a moment ago, she is just 5 pins out of second place. Both she and Grace Hatt 8 frames to bowl.
Right in the 1 in the pocket.
Well, this is not a bad shot. She's got the 2, the 5, and good coverage on the 7. That's the key to this shot. May just lay the ball in there, kick the ball over, take the 5. She had to be on the side of the 2. Now she'll come back and play the 2 on the left-hand side, try to get the ball over on the 7 to get her 10. And she's not going to make it.
Goes through the hole.
Yeah. Sarah McRae has to take an 8 there. She dropped 7 pins off the pace of Grace Hatt.
Goes to 137. On the front pin, Wood won't help her much there. She's got the 2, 4, and 6.
Well, she leaves herself another tough one. She's been getting on the front end, not getting a lot of breaks. Making a break there for herself. What a great shot under some serious pressure for Sharon McRae. Take one more look at this. That's a great shot. She just knifes that pin across, does one little dance, touches the pin, and down it goes. And what a big mark for Sharon McRae. No quit in her, as there isn't any quit in any of these bowlers. Grace Hatt.
Well, that's a good-looking shot, but it punches through.
Yeah, just cut over a bit on the 2, and punch back through. Grace Hatt with a tough one here. Will she play the 2 pins? Those being the 4 and the 7 that are together? No way. Went for them all. Real gutsy play. Shows she had some good confidence. Gets 2. So as you watch that ongoing battle, Sharon McRae 5 pins out. Jean Wood 3 pins out. They're chasing this lady. What a great battle for second place. It's a little tough here. See what you can do with it. Great try. Could be tough to get 10 though. 2 pins side by side.
4 and 5 there. She's going to take 5 out, and that's the 9 box for Grace Hatt.
That's great for Grace. She made sure of 1 anyway. That's what you got to do in a situation like that.
Just 2 pins up on Jean Wood.
2 up on Jean Wood, 4 up on Sharon McRae. Jeannie McDowell. Jeannie just wants to get 9s and 10s for the moment. Mind you, she'd like to have marks, but she just wants to avoid the real bad boxes. She's left the 2 corner pins there.
The bedposts, and what should she do here?
Well, she can play, I suppose, the pin you can see very clearly, but she's going to play this piece of wood over around here somewhere and try to bring that piece of wood into play. She goes high, tries to get it over. Now she'll go, of course, to the clear pin on the other side. Always try to get that, if you have any wood at all, get it into play if you got those 2 corner pins, because obviously you need some help. So that's 3 9s for Jeannie McDowell. She puts her in cruise control here in the second frame after a sparkling 147, in case you just joined us. Nice hit again. She just has everything working. A little tough now. She's got the 9 and the 10 down there. She will have a piece of wood to put in play. May come in on the side of that wood here and try to get the ball over there. Bring that wood off the kickback. Might try that route.
So she's going for it. She did it. What a shot.
She played that real well. Jeannie McDowell continues her sparkling play, coming up with yet another mark, this time in the 4th frame of the second string, and she continues to roll along very nicely. Let's go back one more time, because that was an excellent shot of Jeannie McDowell. Watch how she's going to play the wood off the side. And she gets that all right, but we'll see the wood twisting and turning, and it well, actually it touches the 10 there.
Before it hit the kickback,
yeah, but
then
it comes back.
And takes care of the 9 on the
kickback.
kickback.
Boy, when you're hot, you are hot. That's a nice shot for Jeannie McDowell, and she has really been impressive. 184 now after 14 frames, and she is open. But what a great battle for second place. Only 4 pins in the difference between the bottom and the top. There you see the scores right now, and Sharon McRae, who is in last place, is open on a mark.
You know what I like about the sport? You saw them all shaking hands.
Oh yeah.
Touching each other afterwards.
Yeah, right.
I like the touching part. I was going to say, I was just going to say that it's such a friendly competition. Nobody really gets gnarly about it, or you know, everybody. It's a friendly, relaxed. Yeah. And we're obviously too relaxed here. We're going to have this 3rd match in round 2.
Jeannie McDowell. Sorry, Paul.
No, I'm sorry.
Truly, I am.
No, I'm...
Anyway, Jeannie McDowell is rolling along very nicely, but really there's not much to choose at all between Jean Wood, Sharon McRae, and what a great shot there by Jean Wood. I was going to say Grace Hatt, but that is a big, big mark for Jean Wood that comes here in the 5th. Yes, sir. Here we see it one more time. Well, we're going to see the whole bundle here, I guess. That's the first one. And, well, we'll talk about that maybe a little later on. I don't know. Jean looked at it and said, gee, I thought I got them all there. Anyway, she did in the 5th, and she's open on that spare right now. Oh, and she gets the 9-pin break, and she sets up another great spare chance. So all of a sudden, Jean Wood, hot as a pistol. Didn't have any difficulty with this at all, and she's having all kinds of trouble with it. What happened there?
Maybe that's the one we should take a look at and replay.
Hey, I didn't look at that close enough. Obviously, the second piece of wood was angled, and that's really tough for Jean Wood. What looked like a short spare turned into a 9-box, and Sharon McRae said it's okay with me, and Grace Hatt said I'll second that motion.
Yes, indeed, when they're that close.
So Sharon
look for your
McRae,
opponents to fall apart.
Yeah, Sharon McRae right now is now chasing Jeannie Wood, who's in second, and Sharon is open on a mark. She gets 6.
Sharon's just 10 out of second.
Yeah. Well, now she's on the mark. Or was on the mark. Oh, just missed there. Sharon McRae. Yeah. Changing in. Ooh, she left a single pin there she would have liked to have had. So Sharon McRae now, if you tally them up, is 5 pins out of second place. 6th frame for Sharon. Then we'll take a look at Grace Hatt, who is 6 pins out. It's just changing almost with every ball. There's the result of the ball by Sharon McRae. Not getting on the front end all of a sudden, but giving that a great try. She'll play the 2 rather on the left-hand side. Next one of this with a 9, and she does get a 9. So Sharon McRae goes to 171, 6 pins short of Jean Wood, and tied right now with Grace Hatt for second place. For third place.
Good delivery there.
Great hit. That pin fell. It looked like the 10 or the 6 came down right in front of the 9.
Now,
this is a great setup here.
This should not be a problem at all.
Scared to say now. Piece of wood angle, but it's got to be in close enough. Let's see what happens. It is. Right on the nose. That's where she wanted to be. And a big mark for Grace Hatt.
Well, crowd's really getting into this now as bowlers start to pick up steam again heading down the stretch.
This is just great. What an entertainment. A couple of extra pins. Going to get one more? No.
Yes.
Yes,
there
one in the
goes
back.
The 8.
So she gets 8. And again, she sets herself up with something here. May want to lay this ball in just on the side. A little bit of angle on that pin.
She's got it.
Right back through. Grace Hatt Fan Club. Just double the membership fee. Wow. Back-to-back spares, 5 and 6. One more time. Maybe.
Here's a lady who can make shots like that happen for sure. Jeannie McDowell, because she's been making them explode off the plate. Right in the strike pocket, the 1-2, and now she's got the 3 and in way in behind the 9 pin.
Okay. Has to drive this straight back. That's a tough shot. Try it again. And go to that with a 9. 9's not bad. She has 4 of them now and a spare with an 8 on it. Remember, she had that big 147, so if we're not concentrating a lot on Jeannie McDowell, it's not that she hasn't been impressive. Just that she's got a pretty good lead. Leaves the 4 horsemen. Kind of focusing on that battle for second place, but Grace Hatt has changed things there with the spare in the 5th and the spare in the 6th. Both Jean Wood and Sharon McRae have got to be a little bit concerned, in particular Sharon McRae.
Right on that front pin, but
Well, she leaves the piece of wood out in front, which is not all that bad, just a little bit to the right of the red band. Lay it back there, it'll go straight back. Here's the shot, and there it goes. So, Jeannie McDowell coasting along very nicely. 9s, 10s, and spare. Go back to Jean Wood. Jean Wood now is 2 pins behind Grace Hatt for second place, but
strike ball.
Grace Hatt's open on a spare when she gets up, and this is really a rough one here.
That's the back row minus the 10, and up in front is the 4 there.
You've got to be almost perfect with this shot. Well, you do have to be perfect because you've got to get the 8 over on the 9.
Hey, look at that.
That was a great try. I can't believe these ladies, they're giving everything a real good effort. These are not easy shots.
Rolling wood, but she's not waiting for it.
Well, she's been told to roll on the rolling wood with the other piece of wood in there. Takes a pretty good bang to knock it over. And she's been told, and especially the third ball rather, if it's not going to affect the shot, and that one wasn't, to go ahead and roll, so she did. Goes to 83 now. Still 2 pins off the finish. Again, she's scattered them around a little bit. 1, 2, 7, 9. Again, a tough shot. Look for her to try to get the pin over in the 7 and 9. And she did. She tried to split the 1 and 2, but over on the 2. And she'll try to drive it straight back. Got 1 of the 2, settles for an 8. So Jeannie Wood, with that 8, goes to 195.
And here comes Sharon McRae. 67, 171.
Jean 4 pins out of second place, but Grace Hatt's open. And this is Sharon McRae, who is 8 pins out of second place, chasing Grace Hatt, and she's got a tough one. For her to play this on the right-hand side and get the ball over.
What a shot.
We've said it before, these ladies will not quit. Just when it looks like they're in trouble, they come up with a big, big mark, and that is indeed a big mark for Sharon McRae. She got the pin over. Touched on the 6, comes off the kickback, takes the 10.
What a shot by Sharon. There she is in the 8th frame.
See what happens
second
there.
and final string, and that's just off the front pin.
Well, she wanted more than that. She got 5 on it. She says, I'll take it, but I would like to have a few more. But she does have a couple of pieces of wood in behind here. Watch the 10 pin. Oh, she didn't get on the front.
Oh, she got that front pin to go. Lucky.
Sharon really wanted to mark here to set herself up coming home. And she missed one there she would like to have had, but does come out with a 9, get the spare in the 7. Sharon, a little hot and cold. She goes to 195, so she and Jean Wood are tied now with 2 frames to come, but they're chasing Grace Hatt. Very important ball for Grace Hatt coming up right now. Both Wood and McRae are only 4 pins behind her, but Grace has got the bonus ball.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
counting 7 on it. Maybe more. Nope. So now she's 11 pins up. She would dearly love to hold on to that 11-pin advantage. Of course, she'd like to increase it, but she'd dearly love to hang on to it going into the final 2 frames.
Absolutely.
Makes quite a difference. 10 pins, well, that's one thing. 11 is a whole new matter. And Grace Hatt is leaving the door open for Sharon McRae and Jean Wood. Maybe she's just going to try and provide us with some extra entertainment.
I was just going to say, maybe she's looking at the final 2 frames after our next break and says, hey, let's have some fun here.
Yeah. Not likely.
Nah.
She's left 5 there, but they're all in a bunch. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 8. She's got that explosive ball. Good hit.
Oh, so close.
Wow, that really would have done some damage there. Has to watch the nose of the wood a little bit here, Paul. Could take the wood and not the pin. Good. Got in on the side of it. Blasted it out of there and got the 10. So Grace Hatt goes to 203, 8 pins ahead of Jean Wood and Sharon McRae. Neither one of those bowlers will be open when they get up through 9 and 10. What a finish that's going to be. Jeannie McDowell, meanwhile, he's had her game on cruise control here in the 2nd string after that excellent 149. She is at unofficially 231. So the second place bowler, Grace Hatt, is 28 pins behind. So we're going to kind of concede for the moment Jeannie McDowell's victory here. At least second place. Or likelihood she'll finish first. Pinning like that. She knows what she has to do here. Just stay away from those 4 or 5 boxes, of which she does not have many. And she's getting 9s, 110, and a spare through 7. Tough to catch somebody who's pinning that well when they built up that size of a lead.
A most impressive day.
Absolutely. And if you want to get the munchies, I'll tell you what, you go get them now, because we've got a bang-up finish coming for this one. One mark with 8 on it. Going to put Gene Wood and Sharon McRae. One of those can get that, or both of them, right into the thick of things. An 8 box for Jean McDowell. She goes to 81. She's still 1 over. Goes to 228 overall. But what a great, great finish we're shaping up for. 203 for Grace Hatt, 195 for Gene Wood and Sharon McRae as we get set to bring her down the home stretch.
Oh, it's going to be a dandy, no question about it. I love these close finishes, and we've had a lot of them. Take a look at the scores again in hard copy. 195, 195, a tie for third place. 203. Hey, that's big help to Gene and Sharon. Grace Hatt's last 2 boxes. Drops 3 in the 7th. Managed to get 10. She had to recoup a little bit there. She would have liked to have had a mark, but it's a big help for those other bowlers to see somebody lose 3 pins in a hurry. And then, of course, Jeannie McDowell. What a performance by her today. 228. 147, by the way, in case you've missed it. Her single string score there. That's the high single now for this championship show.
That's right. Anna Mullen had that 135 way back when. But now, of course, Jeannie McDowell surpassed that with the 147. The one question you have to ask yourself at this point in the match is who performed best under pressure? Is it going to be Gene Wood? Is it going to be Sharon McRae or Grace Hatt? Truthfully, Grace Hatt and Gene Wood look a little looser up there than Sharon McRae, but I think Sharon McRae might have a touch more experience. So there's probably nothing to choose from at all as far as that standpoint is concerned. But I'll tell you one thing, when they get up there, they won't be thinking about you and I. They won't be thinking about the lights or the cameras or the crowd. They'll be thinking of only the 10 pins they're looking at to start things off.
And in the event of a tie, we'll go to a 2-frame. It's the first time we've had a ladies singles championship here on ATV Bowling. We've been at it for about 3 years now. I don't know why we took so long to get around to it. We just didn't think of it. And a lot of people said, hey, maybe you should get the ladies on. And we finally said, yeah, of course. And it's proved to be a very good idea.
Nobody's disappointed. And what you're seeing right here, as you see the scores up there, is what we've been getting week after week. You see the 2 195s for Wood and McRae, 203 for Hatt. Neither one of those bowlers are open. They're going to decide it right now. They're going to bowl 2 frames each. That is the battle for second place. One of those 3 bowlers will move on to the next round and be in the money. Now, Jeannie Wood with some great backdoor action. She crashed that pin on the 6 and 10, but she's got the good stuff. Shakes her head, said, of course, just the way I played it. But that's what it is when you get the good stuff on the ball. You can really make things happen.
Oh, had to be out front.
Yeah. Well, she still has a very big pin down there. Wants to get that. But I'll tell you that, she comes off the kickback and gets it. So Jean Wood continues to be 8 pins down on second place, and she really must mark here.
Yep, simple as that.
Yeah, you got to assume that Grace Hatt, when she gets up, is not going to get a couple of 6s. Oh, that's going to be a little tough. Again, the ball off to the right-hand side. She really wants to come back and crash that right in on the front end. Here it is. Oh, she got there. Now it is absolutely imperative that she gets all those pins. And she gets 3 of the 4. So really, it's going to take a 6 and a 5 for Grace Hatt to get Jean Wood into the tie for second. But listen to the round of applause for Jean Wood, real popular lady. Not out of it yet, but just in case she doesn't make it, everybody in Riverview, don't forget her. Now, Sharon McRae trying to get something going is not going to be easy for her. Meanwhile, Grace Hatt sitting back, taking this all in. She does have coverage with this pin right in behind, but she's got to get something, maybe the ball over there to take the pin on the other side. Ball went over in that direction. Didn't happen. Now, she has 3 pins down there, all in a bunch. She really has to get them. Doesn't want to go 10 off the pace. Only got 2. She is now 10 off the pace. Of course, Grace Hatt could falter a little bit, but there's no question Sharon McRae really has to mark here.
She's in, of course, the same situation that Jean Wood was in.
Well, if, let's say Sharon only gets a 10 here, then Grace Hatt can get a 5 and a 6. Oh, boy.
Oh, that's not the thing she
tough.
wanted to see. Spread eagle plus the 9, in fact.
That is really tough. It's going to be up to Grace Hatt to win or lose this on her own. And I just got to believe she's going to be tough. Look at that effort. Sharon McRae not going down without a fight. Lays it down, bang. Sharon McRae gets only the 8 there, so Sharon McRae is not going to move on, but hey, her friends here in Dartmouth giving her a big, big round of applause. And all her friends at John Martin over in Bowling Road in Dartmouth appreciate what she's done here today. Now it's up to Grace Hatt. She can win it or lose it herself.
All she's got to do is avoid the channel.
She only needs 8 pins in the 2 frames. And she's got 7 of them there. I can hear the champagne pops corking now as we listen in on the household of Grace Hatt in Bridgewater. She's got 8. She's guaranteed the tie. If she gets a 10 here. Ooh.
This is a little different.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah, okay. Me too.
Put the tops back on the corks, folks. Get those tops back on the corks. That's right. She needs the 10 here. What are we going here now? She got 211. She only needs 3 pins. Got all kinds of signals coming from the scoreboard there.
I think we were all a little fuzzy on that.
You're going to make it. Don't worry.
Hey, get the champagne back out.
We've been doing too many of these shows over the weeks and months, Paul. Get the champagne out for Grace Hatt now, folks. It's official. She's in there at 220, a 6-pin victory over Jean Wood, who pulls into second. Ooh. Now, there's no more surprises because Jeannie McDowell is at 228. She can throw 6 gutter balls and make it. And that's a fact.
Jack. Yeah, it's just fun for Jeannie McDowell. We saw the same thing in our last show where Rose Orson was assured of victory and in fact finished with a tie for Shirley Butler in first place.
Yeah.
Rose could just take it easy. And that's what Jeannie McDowell is doing, if you will, a victory lap here.
Yep.
A couple of frames just to have fun with.
That's the way you like the bowl in the 10th frame. Great performance from Jeannie McDowell, 147. As we mentioned, she had her on cruise control here in the second. Let's save a few of those shots for the next round. Final ball to be delivered in this, the 3rd week, 2nd round of the Maritime Ladies Candlepin Championship. Sharon McRae and Jean Wood stepping by the wayside. Look at that. What a great finish. Proper thing. The final ball. Good looking 10 for Jeannie McDowell. She finishes with the 99-2-46. What a great double for Jeannie McDowell.
Well, it was a good show, and we had a pretty exciting finish to the end for second place, even though we did get a little fuzzy on the
Well, I
numbers
tried
there,
to make it more exciting than it really was. I apologize for that. But it was great anyway. Well, 6 spins is pretty close.
Yeah, so we've only got one more round to go, or one more match to go in the second round, of course, and then we're off to the semifinal, and it'll get really exciting there. Yeah. Everybody who makes it to the semifinals, of course, gets money, and people who won today, in this case, of course, Jeannie McDowell and our good friend Grace Hatt, they will be assured of money.
Yeah.
And how much money will they get? Well, it depends on how they do in the semifinal. If they make it to the championship.
What a great match that will be when we come down to that final week. We're going to go with our top 4 bowlers on that occasion. The bowler that comes fourth, well, not all that shabby, $400. But in that hour and a half, you can also win $2,000 or $1,400 or $800. So that's going to be a great, great show.
Well, it's going to be like a live lottery show.
We're getting close to it, too.
It's not far away, and we're not far away from saying goodbye to you. But first of all, Jean Wood, I guess, would be the upset story. She had that 256. It was the high double in this tournament, and you would never have thought that she'd be gone after this round, but she only came up with a 114 or a 214 today. Sharon McRae put on quite a battle for second place, but that battle would be won by Grace Hatt with a 220. Grace, congratulations. That was quite a battle that we saw all day for second.
Oh, I guess it was. It was close all along.
So I guess from your point of view, you're just glad that you were bowling third because you knew that all you'd have to do was avoid the channel and you'd be in.
Right. I'd be in there, yeah.
Well, we got to talk to Jeannie McDowell. What competition you had today. That first string, 147, then I talked to you a second ago and you're disappointed. I don't understand.
I'll only bowl one string. No, I'm very pleased.
But you did have the luxury of being able to cruise, as we said, through the second string.
Cruise is a good word for it, yeah.
I take it you're not pleased with that.
Well, yeah, I'll take that.
Well, the good news is for both of you ladies is that you're in the money and you're in our semifinals, and we'll certainly be looking forward to seeing you then. In our next episode, we wrap up round number 2. Young Annette Tanner, 16 years old, Joan Boyle, Karen Blanchard, and Betty Kelly. They'll all be bowling when we see you next. Hope you'll be there. For Bruce Steve and I'm Paul Meunier. Bye-bye, everybody.